And there's old Tim McGraw, the escape artist. Yeah, you plot your days figuring out how to escape, don't you? Huh? Well, since I put these extra boards up here, at least now Tim McGraw cannot escape and be out with the girls, but he still manages to jump over the hay manger and to go in the pen with Sunny, which, I mean, that's all right, other than the fact that sometimes Sunny is mean to him. And I'm not sure if Sunny lets him come in at night to sleep or if he makes him stay outside, which there is a doghouse out there, but it's probably a lot warmer in here. He's really pretty. He has this heavy roning on his coat. As his winter coat came in, so did a lot of roning. He has really pretty blue eyes too. He's actually one of the prettier bucks. I would have thought he'd been one of the first ones I could have found a home for. I don't really have any plans for videos this winter. It's just going to be hit and miss as to what happens around here. Mostly it's probably just going to be feeding the animals. It's probably going to snow a few times. Might get some pictures of the snow. But for the most part, it's going to be a slow winter, I think. I am planning today on going and seeing if I have any carrots. I'm pretty sure that I have a few carrots that I can get. Maybe some turnips. There's still kale in the garden. There was Swiss chard left, unless it got down in the 20s the other night. The Swiss chard might be gone. But the carrots I covered with straw, so they should be okay. And the turnips usually are all right at that temperature. Sanji, quit. And Sanji is still doing well. He got another squirrel the other day. Not sure how he does it. Yeah. And since Sanji has been here, I have not caught any mice in the mouse traps in the barn. Usually by now, I would have caught 4 or 5. Now Fergus and Pepper Potts, they're good mousers too. But Sanji seems to, all he does is think about hunting. I don't think I've ever showed Lincoln before. He was born crippled, and so he walks with a really bad limp, but it's gotten worse over the years. He's pretty old. He's probably 4 or 5 years old now, and it's gotten worse. So he lives separate from the others. He lives out here by himself. He can see the other chickens, but if I put him out in there with the other roosters, he still wants to fight, but he's crippled, so he can't really fight. So he just gets picked on too much. So he lives out here separate. Every once in a while, some of the hens will get loose and they'll come out and visit him. But watch how he walks. See, he's not quite right. But he's getting worse the older he gets. But he still wants to eat and drink. He still seems pretty happy. He's a beautiful rooster. Now, what happened to the guinea chicks that the hen hatched out? Well, none of them made it. She had got down to 4, and I went in the barn one day and she only had 1 left. I don't know if the cats got them or if they just wandered off and got chilled and died somewhere in the barn, because they were in the barn. I hadn't let them out yet. But then that last one, I thought, well, maybe its survival rate will be better if I put them with the other chickens. So I put her and the chick out with the others. And then later that day, my dad told me, he said, I think I hear a guinea chick up by the garden. And I went up there and listened, and yes, you could hear a guinea chick, so I knew it had got away from her. But every time I got close, it would stop making any kind of noise, so I never did find it. So next year, if I raise guinea chicks again, I'm going to have to put them in some kind of cage where they cannot escape the mama. Most of the winter videos, though, will probably just be the animals getting fed, getting fat, preparing to have their babies. I did a rib check on some of the girls this morning just to see how chunky they're getting. And you can't feel, you can't hardly feel a rib. Like you can't feel her ribs at all. Like even digging in, I can't feel her ribs. Which, that's not real good, but she'll thin out before she has her babies. They always do. They always start off real chunky, and then I'll keep the food level the same, and they'll thin out a little bit right before they have their babies. Last year, every one of them had small babies, and I think that was because Billy Ray was their dad, which he's myotonic, and I think that, I'm not 100% sure, but I think myotonics usually have smaller size babies and then they grow fast, because I did notice a significant size difference in all the babies last year. They all seemed small compared to like the pygmy Nigerian dwarf buck cross that I usually get. So it'll be interesting to see what size babies they have with Tim McGraw being the dad this year. Derby, why are you tossing out your hay? Nobody wants to eat it when it's on the ground. And I've slowly been working with Meadow and Coral. They're a little bit more friendly, especially Coral, the black and white one. She will now come into, when I separate, I always lock the goats into the goat shed part of the barn when I feed, so that they can't run out and go eat the pigs' food, because the pigs eat so slow. So I lock them in while I feed everything else, and then they eat in the barn, locked in. And so Coral has been coming in to get a bowl of food, whereas Meadow will not, although she's not, doesn't look like she's suffering any from lack of food. But she'll come and stand at the door sometimes, but she will not come through the door in there to eat while I'm in there. She won't come by the door while I hold it open. But I'm hoping to work with these two so that they trust me when they go to have their babies, because they are both first timers. So I would like them to trust me some. Now their mom, Loretta, she was a little bit wild too until she had her babies. A couple weeks that I had her pinned up afterwards, that calmed her down so much that now she's friendly. So I'm hoping that that's what's gonna happen with these two. I don't like having skittish goats. I like having ones that when you yell for them, they come running for it to you. So if they ever need anything, you don't have to chase them. Like if they're not friendly when it's time for their CD&T shots, it's gonna be a rough go trying to catch them to give them their CD&T shot before they have babies. Now Loretta, I'm not sure if she's bred or not. One day she was acting a little weird. She wasn't flagging her tail really, but I put her in there with Tim McGraw, and she was not in a standing heat, but he did breed her. So I did write down her due date. I'll have to look it up and see what it is and put it on the screen, but I'm not 100% sure that it was an actual breeding or not. But she hasn't showed any signs of tail flagging or anything. So, but last year she didn't come into heat until December, so this is December 1st, so maybe soon, if that wasn't a real heat cycle that she was in. Stacy, you've already ate. You've already ate. I have nothing else right now. Sorry.